Welcome to the Embassy of Mike Graham. I'm Mike Graham, and this is my heaven and hell. Man on the run. How on earth did somebody who was imprisoned in a place which is meant to lock you up manage to get out? How did he manage to somehow cling to the bottom of a lorry? How did he somehow manage to get out of the bottom of the lorry and disappear? How on earth can all of those things happen? Wandsworth prison is meant to be a Victorian jail. It's meant to be a horrible place to be. It's meant to be incredibly difficult to escape from. Even Ronnie Biggs managed to put down a ladder and get out, but that was about 50 odd years ago. This guy, Daniel Khalif, has managed to do it for the first time this year, and nobody saw him. He was dressed as a chef. He was working in the kitchen, even though he was a terror suspect, and he just sauntered out, got under a van, attached himself to it, and disappeared. Genius. If he thought escaping was heaven, he'll soon be in hell. Broken Britain. So, as if you thought the failing NHS was bad enough, as if you thought the failing border force was bad, or the failing police, it now turns out in back to school week, the schools are failing as well. Not because they're not teaching the kids enough, but because the buildings are literally crumbling around their very ears. Yes, it turns out that some bright spark had the idea to build schools with concrete that wasn't going to last more than 30 years. It's called aerated concrete, and what happens to it is the air expands and the concrete grows, it becomes weaker and collapses. The government apparently knew this was going to happen, but didn't do anything about it. Gillian Keegan, the Education Secretary, even said that she wanted to be congratulated on doing such a great job. Her minister, Nick Gibb, said that they were doing world-class treatment of the concrete. But unfortunately, 5% of the schools are shut, the kids have been told to stay home, and so it's all a bit of a broken record. And what have they learned from it? Absolutely nothing, which is a bit ironic, considering it's supposed to be the Department of Education. I'd say send them all to hell. Home Alone Harry. Yes, that's right. Prince Harry made a fleeting visit to the United Kingdom, but he didn't come here to see his dad, and he didn't come here to see his brother. No, he came to make a much needed and much delayed visit to a children's charity, which you have to say is a decent thing to do. But it's kind of unfortunate for him, though, that he and his brother are basically not just speaking, but they're actually not anywhere near one another. The closest they got was 100 miles apart. Prince William decided to go to Dorset when Harry arrived to be in London, and his dad, Charles, the King, decided to go to Scotland. So it's unfortunately Harry spending the night all on his own, because even Mrs. Harry didn't come with him either. What an absolute plonker. He should be probably in heaven, but he isn't. He's in hell. Bankrupt Birmingham. If you ever wondered what they do with all that money they collect from you in council tax and in clean air zone charges and in parking tickets, well, here's what they do with it. They completely and utterly waste it. Birmingham Council have had to form themselves into some kind of collective and say that we are almost bankrupt because they owe so much money. 760 million quid is what they need in order to settle an equal pay claim that was made more than 15 years ago. But it's now caught up with them. The leader of Birmingham City Council is so worried about it, he went to New York for his 50th birthday. And he wasn't even around when they declared themselves bankrupt by filing some kind of notice number 114. What it means is that if you live in Birmingham, you're going to end up having to pay for it because they want to put up council tax and they haven't got enough money. It's an absolute shambles, and certainly not heaven, definitely hell. September Scorchio. Well, hasn't it been great? Fantastic to finally have a summer after the wettest July we've had for ages and a pretty awful June. We've had rather a nice September. August wasn't much to go home for either. But if you wanted to go on holiday to the Mediterranean, you don't have to bother now because it's been record temperatures all the way through this week and probably through the weekend as well. So go out and enjoy it. Don't listen to those kind of doomsayers who say, whatever you do, stay indoors because it's too hot. Whatever you do, make sure you stay in the shade. Go out and have a good time. It's summer. It's the last bastions of summer. It's heaven. That was this week's Heaven and Hell. Don't forget to join up with the Embassy of Mike Graham. You can like it, you can share it, and you can subscribe. And we'll see you next time.